Hi. Can everyone hear me okay? Do I have to lean like this? Good afternoon. I am excited to be here today with everyone. This is a great venue. We've enjoyed a yummy lunch, the company of friends and colleagues, and making those all-important business connections. Great connections like our Christina Brewery, our Suzanne Nixon, my Yoda, Joan Jackson. Woohoo! Is Margaret Van Gorsdorf here? No. Let's forget about her. Some other great outside connections that I've made in my career have been with the Washington Redskins, the Baltimore Ravens, the Stanley Cup winning Washington Capitals. I take 100% responsibility for that one. The Washington Wizards, the Washington Mystics, the Washington Valor, Virginia Tech, Tyson's Corner Cluster, and many, many DC restaurants, as well as 60,000 residential customers. So we're very proud of our business. Thank you. Connection is the key to my life, let alone business, because it creates feelings. And feelings in relationships are at the core of all successful businesses. Whether it's sales, customer service, leadership, sports teams, or anything else. Connection is even more important to women who operate particularly strongly through this value, because if you make her feel disconnected from you, she will never do service with you or business with you again. Isn't that true, ladies? So today I want to connect with you through storytelling. My first story's main characters are Ron and Violet. They don't rank high on the list of people that most CEO business people want to connect with. Their lives started very differently from my life. If these characters touch your heart, if you look in your swag bag, there's some tissues. I came prepared. Ron was the first of 8 children, born to a 15-year-old mother. His father was a coal miner who developed black lung very early on. Ron was very poor. He suffered from asthma due to the conditions of the old house that they rented. He was bullied at school for his ragtag appearance and his mashed potato sandwiches that he brought to lunch every day. He had a disabled brother. He quit school at 15 to look after his other siblings. And he lied about his age and joined the military in order to support his family. After his stint in the military, he met the love of his life, Violet, and he worked as a throat cutter at a chicken processing plant and drove a taxi at night. Let's talk about Violet. Violet was a lucky child, lucky to survive. She was born prematurely into a family who had 2 living children and lost 4 others. Her 3-pound body fit nicely into her shoebox bassinet. Her father was also a coal miner and a semi-pro boxer who traveled the mining circuit until he was quarantined for years in a tuberculosis hospital. Violet was a shy, bright child whose teachers always took up a collection to get her a Christmas gift every year. No playmates ever visited her home. She was too embarrassed by the shanty that they lived in that had no indoor plumbing. She graduated from high school and attended a nearby junior college until she needed to quit in order to help pay her family's bills while her father was hospitalized. Can you imagine the challenges that Ron and Violet faced? But enough sad stuff. Let's talk about me. I am truly blessed. I don't have challenges like the ones I described in the story, and most of us in here don't right now. One of the biggest blessings is that I was born into a family with many advantages. One of the advantages is that my parents are superheroes. It's true. My mother was a rare combination of June Cleaver and Wonder Woman. She wore high heels, perfectly groomed and gorgeous at all times. By all times, I mean at work, at PTA meetings, volunteering, grocery shopping, and when she met my dad at the door at the end of his day, every day. She was also a business owner. She owned her own construction business at a time when women didn't do that. Not only did she do it, she did it well. My Wonder Woman mom was the first woman to be voted as the president of the Maryland Home Builders Association. A woman in a man's world. She was a dedicated volunteer her whole life and was especially dedicated to helping young women through her work at the Pregnancy Crisis Center and also to help rehabilitate apes at an ape sanctuary in Florida. With 5 children to raise and a thriving business, I'll never understand how she managed it all and gave us all lasting memories of her incredibly organized and epic Easter egg hunts, her bingo birthday parties, trips to the beach, Disney World, battlefields, museums in the Bahamas. Meanwhile, my dad was what I like to describe as Aquaman meets Superman combo. Let's pause for a moment and think of Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Hold on. Okay, moving on. Only 2 atomic veterans survived the effects of the nuclear testing in Guam on the Navy destroyer that my dad served on and are still living. He's one of them. His fearless nature led him to try his hand at race car driving, and he became an expert marksman as a Maryland State policeman. During his career, he participated in the Baltimore riots, saved many lives with his strength, his calm demeanor, and his ability to talk people down. He actually saved my life twice as a child. He too was a volunteer at the Ape Sanctuary and various food banks and was the most dedicated and amazing caregiver to my mother during her long and courageous battle with cancer. The battle that was lost, but not because she gave up. Superheroes don't give up, but because she ran out of weapons. As their child, I was well-traveled and also very hardworking. To play hard, we had to work hard. That was our family motto. I was taught that volunteering was as essential as breathing. If you could breathe, you could volunteer. I was taught that girls could ride motorcycles, mow grass, change tires, hammer nails, waterproof basements, and run companies. I also learned that boys can cook, sew buttons on stuffed animals, vacuum floors, and write beautiful letters and notes left on breakfast tables for their children. I was taught to set goals and work toward them, to surround myself with people who have passion and perseverance. I was taught to have an attitude of gratitude and to help others who are less fortunate. I learned to expect success. So, did I inherit my parents' superpowers? Is my success based on theirs? What would my life be now had I been born to that first couple that I described, Ron and Violet? Well, lucky for me, I was. Ron and Violet are my superhero parents. Superheroes are not born that way. Superheroes are created. After all, as the Dark Knight said, a hero can be anyone. My parents forged their own superhero status as a dynamic duo, with a connection so strong they beat the odds to succeed and exceed all expectations, with grit, not unlike Batman and Aquaman. Oh, let's pause one more time for Jason Momoa. You're welcome. Superheroes aren't just men and women in tight uniforms fighting evil villains. When it comes down to it, they're at least partly human, with real emotions and motives to teach us a thing or two about what it takes to be a great leader. They strive to better themselves by helping those around them and contributing to the greater good in business and in life. Superheroes tend to attract other superheroes. Look around. That's why we're in the room today together. As Oprah would say, you're a superhero, you're a superhero, you're a superhero. That's who we have in the room. These are some superhero traits that I've recognized in myself over time. See if these are ones that you recognize in you. H, hardworking. When it comes to the trait of being hardworking, Wonder Woman tops the chart. What can we learn best from her, besides the fact that she wears amazing cuffs? Okay. Hard work pays. With dedication and a pure sense of conscientiousness, Wonder Woman did what she was chosen to do. A good leader leads by example, and a lackadaisical leader has similar followers. A leader who works hard to meet deadlines motivates team members to deliver on time. My life is filled with deadlines that must be met every single day. I would never ask any of my employees to do something that I haven't done myself. E, energetic. Okay, what can be said more about Flash Gordon's energy? Really? He channeled his energy to what he was most passionate about. His energy is unsurmountable when it comes to superheroic feats. Energy equals zest for life. Enthusiasm speaks volumes. People in motion stay in motion. Running a business requires a lot of motion. Right, Christina? Yes. R, responsibility. Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, understands that with great power, there must also come great responsibility. And in order to be Spider-Man, he has to take on the responsibility that comes with being a superhero, and not just bask in the greatness of the power gained. Great leaders don't let their gifts go to waste, but rather see them as a calling to do something heroic. Plus, I had to give a shout out to Spider-Man from PMSI. O, organized. Professor Xavier's systematic approach to promote the peaceful affirmation of mutant rights to mediate the coexistence of mutants and humans shows how adept he was in his organizational skills. His great management of this institution for the greater good of mutants and humans is remarkable. This trait is similar to the volunteer work that I do at Youth for Tomorrow, mentoring sex-trafficked girls and helping them coexist in the rest of the world after being isolated and different. Organization sometimes promotes trust. E, educated. Knowledge is power, and Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, is a living example of this. His knowledge of technology can only be matched with a super wit. Iron Man always steered ahead of his opponents at all times by putting the good use, his wisdom in the technical world and creating the best gadgets for his arsenal. Speaking of gadgets, there's a coolest little PMSI fan that goes onto your cell phone that's in everyone's bags. It's amazing. Keeping yourself updated on the latest trends in business will ensure your superiority in the market and your key to success. After all, what's in vogue today is passé tomorrow, correct? S, self-starter. Batman trained himself physically and mentally to fight crime. He's your classic self-starter. Unlike most superheroes, he doesn't possess any superpowers. Instead, he makes use of his intellect to fight crime. Yes, he has a cool car, but he uses pure grit and resilience to become a superhero, the true characteristic of a self-starter. My parents were self-starters, showing me and my siblings that we could achieve anything we were willing to work for. Success is always within reach. So, as we return to reality, I ask to reflect on the superheroes in your life and the superpowers you possess. I encourage you to surround yourself and be inspired by other superheroes. One of my superhero partners, Vernon Davis, number 85 on the Washington Redskin. Anyone know who he is? Yeah? He was also nominated the Man of the Year this year. He sent me, I was telling Christina this, he sent a signed autographed picture of himself for everyone in the room. It's on the front porch of my house. So if you would like your copy, please email me and I will get it out to you. And that's going to be your visual reminder to focus on growing and fine-tuning your own superpowers. Because remember, anything is possible. Thank you.